What's up, everybody? And oh crap, the layout's not working. I think I think we have to I think we actually have to go mini in order to get in there. Hello and welcome to the Final Fantasy 3 podcast. We had to go mini in order to get into the Final Fantasy 3. I'm joined with me. Joined with me is the Dragoon King. What's up, Dragoon King? I guess his mic is not picking him up anymore. But here we go. We're gonna do Final Fantasy 3 as we go into the job class. Here we go. We're mini.
We're mini. Help.
we had a cold open prepared, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know, sometimes.
Oh man,
Prepared is a loose word, Dan.
Sometimes you gotta do it live. You know, sometimes you just gotta do it live. Sometimes you just don't have enough time in the day to prepare an actual nice, well edited, well produced video. But here it is, everybody. It's the Final Fantasy 3 reviewed and ranked, and yeah, this is going to be a super fun one because we have two people on the panel who has never played this game before this reviewed and ranked. So that's awesome. That's exciting. And then let's go ahead and introduce him right now. We have Excalibro over here. Boom. We got the Dragoon King. And we have the Fyraga Fighter down there. So awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. This is a nice little discussion, retrospective, reviewed, and ranked series. We have 3 Final Fantasy games now, and we call this the Origins era. This is the Origins era of Final Fantasy, and we're gonna rank them. But where does Final Fantasy 3 place? We're gonna find that out as well. But first, let's get some fun facts. Fun fact: Hironobu Sakaguchi back in the directorial role, as he should be. Now, Hironobu Sakaguchi thought of the job change system that is defines Final Fantasy 3. It was his idea, and then he had to he's really excited. He thought about it one night, went to work, and he was like, "Listen, this is what we're doing." So, kind of cool fun fact there. The lead game designer was Hiromichi Tanaka. He created the summons idea for this game. And then you can blame Suzuki for testing the final dungeon Crystal Tower, and then he said it was too easy. So that's why it's it's a freaking gauntlet. And then we have lead programmer coming back for another one, Nasir Gabelli. And once again, during the development of this game, his visa expired during development, and this time with just 2 months left in development before it was complete. And the team had to relocate again to America, and Sakaguchi even got held up in customs to explain why they were in America with such high-tech, advanced technology. And then we have the scenario by Kenji Terada. We have the character designer Yoshitaka Amano, the graphics Kazuko Shibuya, as well as the composer Nobu Uematsu. Of course, the producer Masafumi Miyamoto. Now, let's get into how well did this game do? Well, they were racing to get Final Fantasy III out the door before the SNES came out. So it was released April 27th. 1990, in Japan only on the Famicom. It sold 1.4 million units, which is more than Final Fantasy 1 and 2 combined. It was a very, very big success for them over in Japan. Deep into the development of Final Fantasy 3, this is where things changed. Sakaguchi's mother died in a fire that broke out at his childhood home. This moment would impact Sakaguchi tremendously as he watched the fires of his home, realizing his mother was gone. So I think this is where Final Fantasy changed forever. This is the moment that did not only just impact Sakaguchi's life, obviously, but he began questioning and contemplating the meaning of life and death. So that stuff obviously translates into Final Fantasy. It reflects into his art, his work, and it would go on to impact so many of our lives. So as we all just kind of like try to figure out, tragedy, loss, and find some way to deal with it, and that's why Final Fantasy connects with us all so much. And then so that happened deep into development of Final Fantasy 3. And you can kind of see that within the story here. We have, obviously, this is a very goofy, fun, whimsical tale, but it's packed with death. You know what I mean? It is packed with a lot of loss and dealing with that, and in the darkness, and finding hope and stuff like that. And we're going to dive right into that. But before I do, I think, you know what? We're going to change this up. Usually I would go around and I would say, everybody reveal your rankings and stuff. So what we're going to do here is actually just dive right into this. We're going to dive right into this. And we'll talk about your rankings as we go. That sound good? We're going to start with the pillars. We're going to do story and everything like that. First, we jump into story. And to jump into story, I got to kick it over to Excalibro and hit me with that story time with Excalibro.
Oh, yeah. All right. I hope y'all are ready for this. I finished it about 5 minutes before we started. All right. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Lee. I appreciate you. I appreciate
No
you.
problem. All
Appreciate
right, let's kick it.
All right. In a world where crystals talk and have names, but the heroes don't, because every character shares the same dialogue box, 4 nameless orphans of unknown origin, without parents or birth certificates, fall into a cave and accidentally get hired by the Wind Crystal. No interview, no dental benefits, just congrats. You're the Warriors of Light now. You got the job. 5 jobs, actually. First stop, breaking a curse cast by a dude whose name is also what he is. Jin. Like a spirit, but not the kind you drink. He turned the locals into Snapchat filters. Then you meet the completely original character, Princess Sarah. She's definitely not the same Princess Sarah from Final Fantasy I. This Sarah doesn't have an H at the end of her name. But like the other Sarah, she'll wait for you as long as it takes. You team up with Sid, who upgrades airships like Hector runs 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines, and a guy named Dash who climbs mountains and nosedives into furnaces. Just like us in our intro, you meet some tiny people with big problems. And plot twist, the floating continent you've been on the whole time, just step 1. There's a surface world beneath. It's like DLC, but you didn't have to pay extra for it. There you meet Arya, maid of the water crystal. She guides you straight into Kraken's murder aquarium and doesn't make it out. Cue emotional piano. Then it's off to fight a gold-obsessed landlord in a golden estate wearing golden armor whose name is Goldor, which is the word gold plus the word or, which is French for gold. Or is it? It is. It is. Then we battle Gigamets, which sounds like a supercharged baseball team, but actually transforms into an electric bird. The party gets an airship called the Nautilus. That's heavy-handed foreshadowing. And a surprise twist that shocked no one, the Nautilus can transform into a submarine. We eventually face the apprentices of the legendary mage Noah, Doga, and Une, 2 ancient dudes who dropped the lore bomb. Oh yeah, we're disciples of this old dude Noah, and our brother Xande went gonzo and caused the apocalypse. Then they casually asked the party to kill them so their souls can open the final dungeon. Totally normal mentorship energy. You gather the fangs, plow through ancient ruins, unlock special herbs and spices of the job classes, ninja and sage. And finally, storm the Crystal Tower. Surprise! Zandy's not even the final boss. There's a cosmic cloud of doom and darkness behind him called, wait for it, the Cloud of Darkness. You free the warriors of darkness, team up across time, slap the Cloud Lady into the void, and restore balance to the world. Then, like true Final Fantasy heroes, you return home, unnamed, uncredited, unpaid, but victorious. This fall, witness the JRPG where crystals hire children, continents fall from the sky, airships explode on delivery, and the heroes are back to not having names. Final Fantasy 3, because sometimes to save the world, you have to change jobs more often than a millennial on LinkedIn.
Absolute son of
This
a.
fall, yeah, absolutely.
This fall.
Yeah, this fall got me, dude.
No, I was keeping it together the entire time, and then I heard this fall, and I'm like, God dang it. He got me with that one. That was real good, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Wired said, delivering the hype once again. Good job, Excalibur. Bro.
Appreciate you.
And that is the story of Final Fantasy 3. So let's dive
In a
in.
nutshell.
Let's talk about it. As you heard with Excalibur, it's fun, it's whimsical, it's got a lot of goofy stuff in there. So let's go with the opening hours, all right? Because let me share my thoughts on this opening hours, all right? I recorded my thoughts after the first 3 hours. I had to write it down, all right? And I used talk to text, but I want to read it because this was my thoughts like immediately after. In the first 3 hours, I've flown an airship in a small space, escaped from Bahamut's breakfast, and met a green-haired dude named Desh. I sailed a ship, I shrunk down mini size, I retrieved a stolen eye from a serpent statue from a rat. The eye, that eye also happens to contain the sea serpent's soul. I rode a chocobo around an entire continent for a prize, met some fairies, met the ancients, turned my party into toads to enter an ancient tower. Oh, and that guy Desh, he's an ancient. Then he jumped into a furnace to calm it down, which harnesses the magic to keep the entire continent afloat in the sky. That's right, the world map that I've been playing on all this time is floating above a much larger world map. But the land is submerged underwater. In my and then you have to pull up the land like Maui and Moana, and reveal the true world map. And this is just the first 3 hours of this game. It feels like they've like crammed an entire Final Fantasy within the first 3 hours. And I wonder if that was their objective, to be like, hey, we're gonna just give you a full Final Fantasy experience. We got ancients, we got freaking toads, Mini, and all that other stuff. We're just gonna cram it in. Airships are in here as well. We're just giving you everything, and then we're gonna open it up and show you that there's a much larger game. I thought that was just insane. So let's talk about when the you fly your airship off of the no, you know what? I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Is there anything about the floating continent, the first 3 hours or the first couple hours in the floating continent that you guys want to talk about? Anything?
Well, all right, I want to jump in real quick because it's when you said how much was crammed in there.
Yeah.
I noticed that too, and I was like, wow, a lot just happened. Yeah, I still feel like I have hardly touched the surface of what's going on in the grand scheme. Like, it's hard to explain, but when I was playing Final Fantasy 3, I'm like, this feels like I know that the plot is connected, obviously, but it felt like an episodic adventure where I just felt like I was getting whiplashed from like...
Yes. Oh man, he froze. You got whiplashed into frozen.
I got whiplashed to death, dude. What the hell just happened to me? Nah, just basically, I feel like this game feels like it's almost like episodic in its storytelling, where I'm rewatching Dragon Ball right now, and it feels like I'm playing Dragon Ball in a way where I'm just for like 20 minutes I'm solving some community's problem or something. And then I'm getting thrown into the next like town that has some other thing that I got to go address or deal with, or people I got to meet. There's a ghost town. There's a giant rat I got to go fight. Like, it's just very wacky. And at times, I'll be honest, I almost felt it might have been a little too wacky at times. And I'm curious what your guys' opinion on that one is, because the opening hours of this game just are all over the place, man. They really throw a lot of stuff at you.
Yes.
So I don't want to take the floor too long. I don't know, Wiley, Vinny, you guys got anything to chime in with?
Well,
I mean,
go ahead,
Wiley.
bro. No.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
think-
No. Okay,
I
bro.
think
You go-
personally, since I'm one of the few who actually fell in love with this game, I think it would be better if I hear from you first what
Okay,
you
all right.
didn't like, and then I can try and rebuttal you there.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's not even okay. All right. We're talking about story. So let me just start by saying the dialogue, the way that they handle the character dialogue is my biggest hurdle in everything.
Man.
All of the events and the plot, I love. It's great. It's fun. It's whimsical. There's so much variety to it. But the dialogue, it's like this podcast. You got 4 people talking, and sometimes you don't know which person it is, right? It's like an RPG.
That's just because we look alike.
Okay. All right. So, but Final Fantasy 3, it's like a group chat where everyone forgot to set their usernames, right? It's like you don't know who's talking. So it's that part takes away a lot of it for me, because I'm big on characters and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm just gonna throw that out there now, but let me sort of like add to what Dan was saying. Like, bro, in the first hour of the game, I mean, they're handing out canoes and airships like Halloween candy. I mean, it's like you're getting stuff that took you a while to get in the first 2 games, just immediately, and then they're taking it, away from you. The airship is crashed into a boulder and stuff like that. Usually heroes in RPGs have amnesia, but in Final Fantasy 3, even the NPCs have amnesia. Shout out to my boy Desh. I'm gonna say so. Oh, that's gameplay. We're talking about everything that's happening at the beginning, right? So one thing that they introduced early on, the first time you go to the castle, and I guess there's other locations, but this is where I figured it out personally, is the mechanic where you have secret tunnels. And I love that.
Love that too.
This was such a great addition to the game, because it made me want to explore every environment. I started looking for sort of those little details that would give away, where the hidden walls and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So I really like this mechanic. And as you guys are going to find out, this gets my top spot so far for that particular piece, for the gameplay piece.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the way that they opened it. But I'm going to also agree with Lee that it does feel like Whiplash. It's kind of all over the place. There's not a lot of cohesion to it. It's kind of like, you guys are the heroes, go do heroic stuff. There's no central plot yet. It's just kind of slapdash, little bit of this, little bit of that. You're kind of wandering around and just helping people, whoever needs you, moment to moment. And it does have that kind of episodic vibe. And okay, I'm gonna wait because Dan wanted to hold off on that moment that I think we all enjoyed. We'll come up on that. So what are your opening thoughts, Vinny?
So I see what you're saying about it kind of feeling like our main characters don't have an identity. And I feel like personally, I saw that as well, but I took that more as they didn't want us to really focus on our characters that we're playing as, because I think they wanted them to be kind of like neutral, because they are us. So they are just going to be whoever we are. I think they wanted the focus to be more on the cast of characters that we meet. And I think that this game could have done a really, really, really good job if it came out on something bigger than the Famicom, because I know one of their things, because through the research that I've done, the Pixel remaster of 3 is actually the first time we get this version of Final Fantasy 3 in this country, because after 1990, the first rendition of 3 was the 2006 DS port, where it's like the chibi art style.
Right.
which changes. A lot of people say it's not even the same game at that point with all the changes that they've made to it. So I think that the characters that we meet, first of all, like it is odd when you meet, Princess Sarah and she instantly falls in love with you and she's like, I'll wait
Right.
for you. And then I'm like, I've known you for 5 minutes, but wait, which one of me?
Which
Or are
one
you into all
exactly?
four of us?
Four-
Are you into all
okay.
four of us?
Wait,
Because
I
then-
have a funny story about that real quick. What?
Yeah, same here. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay. Wait, so I wanted to be the Green Onion Knight.
Okay.
So I named myself after the third one, but I moved myself to the top. I used all of our names. So I was green. Dan, you were red.
Oh, I got the
Right?
girl. Nice.
Yeah. So, but here's the funny part is that I never played your character in the overworld.
Okay.
So she's in love with me. Like she's talking to me, but she's saying your name every time. I was
Dan,
like,
oh,
I'm like,
Dan.
what the hell do you like? Make up your mind.
You harlot. You
Yeah,
harlot.
right. like
Oh.
make up your mind, girl. Who are you in love with? Because she's
Oh, man,
called. It
that's
was
funny.
kind of messed up actually. She was like, "Oh, I love you, Dan," and meanwhile it's me staring at Sarah. I'm like, "Come on, dude! like, come on, man."
Yeah, you
Like,
had
Oh,
you had this one
man.
ranked as number 3. I made sure I corrected that there. So you have story as 2, 1, and 3, right? Right.
For me?
Yeah. I've been
Yes.
displaying your I've been displaying your rankings as you guys talk. I don't know if you noticed
Okay.
that, but so there you go. I am actually showing you my screen, right?
Yes. Yeah. you are.
Yes.
This time you are.
Okay.
Yes. This one is my so far of these three. I guess since we're talking about story, it did. I'm gonna admit it. It grabbed me the least of, which is weird because one story, comparatively, one isn't terribly story focused. Or at least it's extremely limited in its storytelling. But I don't know. Just this one.
But okay, I'm going to help you out here, Lee. So I feel like 1 is focused. I feel like 1 knows exactly what its identity is, and it just goes for it.
Okay.
That's what I like about 1.
yeah.
And I feel like 3 takes a long time to develop its identity. You don't really know what it is until you're quite a ways in. And so I think for me, that's why, because it has the same type of storytelling, exactly like what Vinny's talking about, where you sort of put yourself into the character. The characters don't really talk. Everybody's talking to you. You're naming the characters, right? They don't have an identity without you. And I feel like the first game pulls that, despite being much simpler, I feel like it pulls it off better for me. And it could be the linearity. It could be just sort of the straightforwardness of the
simplicity,
story. But it's
it felt-
focused.
I don't want to say that 3's dishonest, but 1 just has a very like straight shooter, honest story way. Like it's just everything is just
Yeah.
it lays its cards out on the table, and you're like, what you see is what you get. 3 feels like, I agree with what you're saying. It kind of hits the ground running, and then for me at least, it stumbles quite a bit at the start because it feels like I'm getting thrown into all these different scenarios and meeting all these people.
It's the friends
I
you meet
hardly have
along the
time.
way, bro. It really is.
Yeah, but
Like-
that's the thing
it
about
really
this
is.
game
That's
is
what the
that,
story is.
and maybe it's because 2 was so ambitious with its storytelling, but I felt like 2, I got more attached to the characters I met in 2, but I had way more
yeah.
time to really get to know them. So. And mind you, that game's a one-trick pony. It's just like, hey, make a friend and kill him. But,
Yeah,
but
yeah. There's a bit of that here too.
there's a bit of that here too. But with 2, my time with them felt way more memorable. And like when a character sacrificed themselves, or when a character just like I'm learning their story and their relevance to their environment, they're trying that here, and perhaps it just maybe the characters themselves didn't speak to me, but I feel like they feel more hollow in comparison to the characters of 2 who had more depth to them. At least that's how I perceived them.
It's
And
funny.
I think they're supposed to on some
Yeah.
level.
And
you know.
like the way that you said at the beginning, though, really kind of like summarized it for me as episodic, right? So if it really does feel like quick bite-sized episodes with like rapid-fire scenarios of someone who's gone mad because of the darkness, right? So it's like little little tiny story arcs, like hey, go to this town. There's somebody here that you're gonna have to help out. But it is the friends you meet along the way. Like it really is. Like that's what the whole story's about. And honestly, my favorite part of this story was actually the epilogue. It's like I really like the epilogue of the story, which is the is the little quotes that happen at the end. And I'm gonna go ahead and read that off because it taking into consideration what I said in the facts of the show, with Sakaguchi and his mother, like, so here's the most important part of the story found in the epilogue. Do not forget that the source of the warrior's power is the hope that lives inside us all. Dreams, despair, love, and time can obscure it all. Do not accept this. Do not forget it, and time will never erase what life has to offer. Find your last remaining spark of light, a light that shines brightly when all else is dark, the light of hope. Like, dude, that right there kind of solidified it for me. And like, this is obviously it's a reflection of Sakaguchi's thoughts. I feel like this is him just kind of putting his note or his thoughts into the epilogue, like after things that happened to his mother. Like, I feel like this is what Final Fantasy is going to be about from here on out, right? So like we had obviously with Final Fantasy 1, we had the whole like, hey, you were the warriors of light, you're the heroes and stuff like that. And then we had with Final Fantasy 2, we did have a lot of like deaths and dealing with that, but it didn't feel like it was personal in that way. With Final Fantasy 2, it definitely was Star Wars inspired and very heavily Star Wars inspired there. And then you get into 3 and you can start to see that deep meaning of what Final Fantasy means to so many people start to kind of creep into 3, and then from here on out, that's what we're going to get. So for me, I really enjoyed that part. I really enjoyed, obviously before the epilogue is the ending, and I enjoyed the ending. I did not enjoy the boss, like the final boss, the Cloud of Darkness. I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, we got to defeat Darkness herself, itself, and I did like that our heroes needed help. So, and I think that is kind of core to the message of finding the spark of light when all else is dark, and find that light of hope. And I think what Sakaguchi is trying to say here is that surround yourself with people, with hope. Surround yourself with light. I gotta fix the stream real quick. But Vinny,
yes.
you really enjoyed this.
You want me to dive into that? Because I have a lot to say about this.
Okay, yes, I fixed the stream. You're good to go. So this is your favorite part of the game. This is we're talking about the last dungeon. Yeah, let's dive right into this. Let's talk about that part.
All right. So one thing that always really gets me is I don't want to spoil endings of things in other pop culture media or anything, but there's like a few things that I enjoy rewatching or replaying, and it kind of has that feeling of that like fallen heroes from your past come back to help you, or like wave goodbye one last time. And for me, at the end of this game, where a lot of things seemed hopeless, and you meet a lot of people along the way that like Wiley, I know you like this guy. I hated Desh when I first met him. I thought
I also don't like Desh. Okay, cool.
That was more of a joke, but
I thought he was an ass, like womanizer. Like I didn't like him at first. He annoyed me, and then after his sacrifice, I was like, all right, okay, whatever. Like, all right. The first thing I did though, when Desh threw himself into the furnace, was I went back to his girlfriend in that town.
It's so dumb, dude. It's so dumb.
And so if you haven't done that, it's actually hysterical. You go back to her and you start the dialogue with her. The first dialogue box that pops up is like, he threw himself into a fire, and then your character goes, he's ... probably fine,
Probably.
and then that's it, and then you just leave. So,
Oh, that's great.
He's
I was
probably
I
fine.
thought that was great. I was like, yeah,
Jumped
he's
into a furnace.
probably fine.
Probably
I mean,
fine. Like,
Probably fine.
Bro's amnesia is so bad he forgets to die.
he forgot to die.
But
How to die, dude? That's crazy.
at the end there, when you need you turn to stone or you get frozen, paralyzed, and those dragons are basically keeping you from being able to go further, and you have to what's his name, Xande is trying to summon the cloud of darkness and everything, and then you like the is it Une and Dogen
Doga.
Doga
Okay. Mhm.
when they go and they collect all of your friends that helped you,
So good.
Yeah.
it
a good
just
moment.
felt it was just this camaraderie moment where, and then my favorite part, those annoying old guys who were
The
just trying to
fellows.
be heroes, the
fellow.
four fellows of light,
Lead fellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fellows of light.
the fellows of light, and then they come and then they save you after saving them from a group of goblins that you one shot and they were getting their ass kicked, and then they come and they save you from this moment. Like, the first thing I did was I was just like, they got their moment to be heroes, let's go. I was like, yes. I was so happy for them. I was like, I
for one of them.
well,
lead
well, yeah,
fellow.
for one of them, but I feel like they're
Official
kind of
lead.
in the same boat we are. They're just an amalgamation of four dudes who morph together.
All right, so
That's what we are.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they make the Final Fantasy 3 remake, they're just gonna put us four as the fellows as
should.
well.
I'm actually really glad you brought up Final Fantasy 3 remake. I'll touch on that later.
Oh
But
yeah. Ooh.
Well, yeah, I know there is when they remake it again. Square, hit us up. We'll be the fellows.
No. I mean, like not the DS version. I'm talking about like a Final Fantasy 7 treatment remake.
Oh
But,
wow. Yo, Final Fantasy 3 gonna get it.
I think
Listen,
this game,
if they do a remake, there's one mechanic that they have to keep, and that is when you sleep in a bed, they all dogpile into the same bed.
Let's sleep in the
Including
princess's
wait,
bed.
doesn't-
Did you see
Does the guest member do that or no? Does the guest member? No, the guest member jumps in with you too. I think.
yeah, the guest
Man.
member goes to bed with you.
They're selling that orphan angle so hard. Like, these guys just all pile into one bed. That's all
sleeping
we've
like the
ever
prudes? God.
But on top of like the camaraderie with the people that you've met, and then when Desh came back, I was actually really excited that Desh came back. I have it in my notes, literally in all caps. I was like, Desh is back, in parentheses, he grew on me. But also having to find the Warriors of Darkness to also come and help you.
Good.
Like,
Yeah.
You guys were talking about how like Final Fantasy 1 kind of knew the story it wanted to tell and everything. I feel like 3 knew the story it wanted to tell, because from the start to the finish, we have a complete like understanding of everything that the characters went through. In Final Fantasy 1, which I also love, but Final Fantasy 1, you start off, you are the Warriors of Light. You don't know why you are, but you are the Warriors of Light. You have the crystal shards and everything. You are the, prophesized 4 of legend that are coming to save the world. In Final Fantasy 3, you start off as 4 orphans without parents, and and you're just kind of like, dungeon crawling. It's what you guys do when you go to talk to people. They're like, oh, you guys were in a cave again, blah blah blah. Like, you were just literally doing what you normally do, and then you stumbled upon a crystal, and you actually watched the inception of the Warriors of Light be created, which I liked a lot more than just being the Warriors of Light. And I think the job system lends itself to that too, because you're just kids just acquiring these jobs instead of being masters of your craft already and still having trouble with goblins. Like, you're the Warriors of Light from the beginning at Final Fantasy 1, but you're getting your ass kicked by coyotes and goblins. So it's like, you would think that the Warriors of Light would come in being able to just like curb stomp everything from like the first half of the game. This, I feel like, is just more cohesive because you start off as kids and you turn into the Warriors of Light, and you still need to learn your role. So all of that in the beginning, I feel like lends itself to the end of the game where you are the Warriors of Light, but you're still not the masters of your craft. You need help from everybody in this dimension and the other dimension. Those Warriors of Darkness need to come and help you, because if you try and fight Cloud of Darkness without saving all 4 of the Warriors of Darkness, she's invincible. You can't kill her. She'll just one-shot you with Particle Beam every single time. So it's like, because I tried.
Yeah, I tried too. I tried to blitz right to the final boss, and it was not fun. It was like 3 a.m, and I was like, "This sucks. I'm going to bed. I'm dying too much. I'm dying too much. What's happening?"
And so, just the fact that our characters, we got to watch them grow, and even in the end, they were like, "We still need help." Those dragons. This is the first time I've ever played this game. I played the DS version. For maybe about 15 minutes, changed my job too many times to where I couldn't change jobs again.
Yeah, you get penalized for it. It's so.
You get penalized, and then you also get penalized.
Yeah, in the
DS version.
Okay, I was about to say that didn't happen to me, but I also didn't.
Yeah, no. They took it out completely of this one. In the very first one for the Famicom, you had change points or something like that, where. If you had to acquire enough points to change jobs, you couldn't just willy-nilly like change back and forth. In the DS version,
job adjustment period that punishes you for switching. Yeah, and then your job stats need to be properly adjusted, like when you change. Yeah.
So that is what I ran into when I first played Final Fantasy 3. Was this atrocious job system where I would change jobs, and then if you change jobs, your characters become weaker for like 5 battles. You have to grind to get back to normal to then level up again. And I was just like, no, screw this. I'm not doing this. And so I never touched it again. And then the Pixel remaster came out, and I was apprehensive of starting it. That's when Daniel was just like, you should really play it because it's nothing like that. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I played it for like maybe 30 minutes. This was 2 years ago, I think. And I was like, "Oh, I'm excited to do this." And then we were gonna do something stupid, like
yeah, we were.
We were gonna do something very stupid for content. Since
just how this is every piece of Final Fantasy TV content starts out this way. We were gonna do something stupid.
Imagine that.
Since I'd never played this one, we were gonna try, and I was gonna play it, but I was gonna play the entire game in German, and I don't know German. I was going to play the entire game in German and make up the story as I go and try and understand.
Read the text boxes and just improvise.
Improvise words and just try and tell my own story of it because I didn't know what was happening.
So you're never going to abridge it.
Abridge it without knowing what's going to happen.
Right. And then I was gonna play it again in English and see how much of my stuff matches up, but never got around to doing that. But anyway, so yes, I'm sorry, I went off on like some wild tangent. But
That's okay.
I have a lot of love for this, a lot of newfound love for this game, and it just kind of seeps out into all of the aspects of the game. But yes, the end of the game, all the camaraderie, not being just this like cosmic space celestial demon stomping set of 4 heroes, like you needed everybody you met along the way. And I think that lends itself to the whiplash because we are children who just became the Warriors of Light. And I feel like if the 4 of us were just bestowed power and was told, hey, you need to go travel the world, I feel like we would also be just as chaotic. Like, what do? Let's go in the big airplane. Let's crash the big airplane, and then let's go fight a dragon. Let's get really small, and then let's go kill a rat that's called giant rat, but it's a regular sized rat. We're just really, really tiny, so they're calling it giant rat. But I think all the chaos lends itself to we are a bunch of kids who were just bestowed power, and we have to go travel the land. And this is just the first 3 hours.
Yep.
All right, so Vinny. All right, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're giving me a deeper appreciation for this, and I'm starting to look at it more as like, since you keep bringing up the fact that they're kids, and I always forget that as I get a certain distance into the game. So I'm getting this. Yeah, it's like so I'm getting this vibe that it's kind of like
not
this is
8,
like
are
the
they?
Earthbound
I think they're
Final
8. I
don't
Fantasy,
think
right?
so.
Where
Are
you
No, I think they're 8. I think they were
No.
they start off as 8-year-olds. I'm not even kidding. I
bro,
read,
no way.
look it up.
So
Oh,
okay,
These-
I,
these
I
are
gotta.
crystals,
They're into
bro.
some freaky stuff.
Straight
I know.
up child labor, bro. What are these crystals doing?
How old are the Onion Knights?
Go, so
Now,
go ahead.
so
Well, that's AI overview, but 8 years old apparently. But in the DS version, their ages are 14.
See,
okay.
I
15
can
for
see
one
I
of
can
them.
see this story taking place over the course of of time. Now, Excalibur,
Right.
I want you to get back to your point, but I
Yeah,
do want
please do.
I want to throw this in there just because it's related to that very thing. So Kawazu and Koichi Ishii broke off to work on an RPG for the brand new Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy, right? But Sakaguchi specifically requested that Ishii return to work on the job classes for Final Fantasy III. So reintroducing the job classes was Sakaguchi's idea, and he needed Ishii on the task. At first, Ishii refused because he was already working on Saga for the Game Boy, but eventually he was convinced to do it. So Ishii designed the battle sprites and all animation poses. Every job class has unique poses. And one interesting fact about the Onion Knight in particular, he made them round bellies to kind of give them the appearance of a baby. He wanted you to feel like you started off as a baby. And,
Like an 8-year-old.
Not like like a little kid. You started
That's
off
crazy.
as a
That's what-
kid, and then look at your job classes at the end. Look at I don't know if you can really see in the top left corner there, but like the gameplay, you look like badasses. Like you look freaking awesome. Like you. So
I love those cat ears.
I love those cat
Yeah,
ears,
that's
man.
more
That's
badass than a cat ear.
Cat, never mind. There's something there, you know. So that lends itself to the visuals there. And I think if I got mine up here correctly. So this is my visual ring here. I have it at number 2. So visually, I love a game or any kind of video game story, whatever, where the character grows and you can see it not only in the story and how powerful they get and stuff, but the look of the character as well. Now, Final Fantasy 1 had this a little bit too when you get Bahamut's job classes and stuff, and then you look freaking cool. But this one was like a slow, like a progression, right? It was a progression up because like, was it like the monk goes to black belt, then goes to like something even higher than that or something like that, basically making the class before kind of like voided out because you don't really need to use, because you've gotten even better job class now, and you can see the characters grow. So I really like that part about this game, and I put it at number 2 for the visuals, because that, and then there's more to talk about with the visuals. But back over to Excalibur, do you even remember what you were saying?
His newfound appreciation that Vinny was
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that happens in the middle of this game, and there's a lot of lore in this game that I really like too, that I want to talk about. I guess whenever it's convenient.
Go for it.
So one of the big problems that I have, and I'm just going to throw this out there, is the bait and switch last boss. I hate when games do this. And there's a couple Final Fantasies that do this, and this is the first one to do it. And I never understand why. I don't like it.
You don't like it
don't-
when they've
don't-
been hyping up somebody and then all of a sudden
Don't hype somebody up, and then the last
Somebody
boss is
behind
some
the curtain.
anonymous superpower, evil, force or something like that. It's like, okay,
well,
like, I don't care.
Excalibur. Do I have some games for you coming up?
Yes, I may have played them. But no, this is the first game to do that. And this is also, I think, the only game where the main characters are that young. I think moving forward, they're at least 2 or 3 years older at minimum for the main characters. But there are so many events that I do really enjoy here, and the way that if I had Vinny's lens when I was playing this, I would have had a different appreciation for it. I could say that. So I can see what he liked about it. So there's a couple things that we blew right past that I did really enjoy, and that's that reveal when you go from this is the landmass that we've started on, and it's this continent, and when you look at the map, it seems like it's floating. It doesn't really make sense. It's like the world seems a little bit small. Like it's not a huge world map. And then you get the airship and you fly over the edge. And guess what? This is not the world. This is a tiny little speck. There's another world map and it's covered in water. And so there's this immediate mystery, like what happened here? Like the world's covered in water, and it requires some exploration to drain the world, to drain the ocean, drain the world of the water to uncover that proper world map. And the game does this to you a couple times. So the first time you go over the edge, and you see that there's a bigger, wider world, and then you have the reveal of draining the ocean, and there's a bigger world, and then you go into the ocean. Like it just kind of keeps going and one-upping itself with this sense of exploration. And I'm really big on that. That to me, those were the most powerful moments in the story. Like I said, I didn't have quite the lens that Vinny did for some of this stuff.
Wait,
I can actually
go, Vinny.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
All right. I took what you said into consideration here regarding like the lens, and I do appreciate that lens. I think I still maintain my feelings about most of these characters not really hitting the mark for me. I feel like 2 did a better point of making me, and I don't want to compare it just to 2, but like I think about where they came from. Like it's always interesting looking about where a game develops from its predecessor. And the idea of the characters doing something to help you, like I love that they helped you in the end. That part, it's touching. I just think that I still don't really resonate with most of these characters, and that might just be a personal thing. I'm not gonna let that bog down my overall review, because I think that what you're saying is very true. Like as far as what it's doing is really cool and very inspired. So I just want to throw that out there. But what you were saying, Wiley, that was my highlight for this game, undoubtedly.
Was
when you leave the floating island,
exploration? Yeah.
So
Plot
while
twist.
the characters and perhaps the overall story didn't do it for me this time around, I think presentation of the world was the best that the series done so far. And even from the later entries I've played, I still think that this might actually be the best I've experienced so far. As far as how the world was presented to me, excusing some like lore related issues that I might or not even issues, just lack of attachment to. I think the way that, you're right. When I started and I'm going around the world, the first time actually, funny enough, when I get to the City of the Ancients, I left again and I was like, can I walk around this entire world? So I did that, got into a lot of fights, leveled up quite a bit. And then I walk into the City of Ancients or whatever. And one of the first NPCs I talked to goes, I'll give you a prize if you go around the world. And I'm like, buddy, you're not going to believe this. You might want to sit down. Like, I've been around the world, but he said on Chocobo back. So I went, got the did it again. I was actually kind of mad. I was like, there's no way I just did that. And then, but regardless of that, it wouldn't be my playthrough if I didn't do something stupid and unnecessary. So no, but like, I remember going around again on the Chocobo, and I took the time to kind of just look at the whole world. And 2 things came to mind. At first, I was like, okay, really paying attention to the fact that we're floating. I was like, okay, I'm curious where that's going to lead to. But I was also intrigued by the fact that the world was pretty easy to navigate this early on in the game. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, it just felt weird. And as I understand it, this is one of the shorter Final Fantasies.
Oh, yeah.
At least to my knowledge. Like, this one's pretty quick to go through. So I was like, is this really the whole world? It actually left me feeling pretty disappointed. And I was like, okay. And with the combined other sentiments I was feeling about Whiplash, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of feeling really low, but that
They set
totally
you up.
yeah, that blew my mind actually, leaving the floating continent, because I had a feeling we would do something like that, but I thought it was going to be the end game raid or something where like we would leave to fight some like higher power.
We're
or
going to
something.
space. We're getting out.
Right. I was like, okay,
Space.
it's gonna get super Final Fantasy once we leave the island. But no, like actually it did, but not in that way. Like I wasn't leaving the island to fight like demigod beings or whatever. Like I left the island and found a much greater world. And I was like, wow, that's fascinating. And I got super intrigued again. And then we drain the ocean, and the world's like, I'm like, whoa, like
it
everything
keeps
at
opening
this
up,
point,
man. It just,
right? And then you go underwater, and I'm like, wow, like it blew my mind how much they played with environment here. And then the final airship being able to scale like some of the mountains, and you're finding these like areas that you got to navigate. Like this to me was, hopscotch with the airship.
Exactly.
This to me though was where the game. This was my highlight. It's where it excelled the most for me, was its world presentation. I think that the world itself was just really fun to navigate, really fun to explore, find the secrets in, and combined with, I didn't touch on this, but the hidden tunnels. This game really made me feel like there were secrets that were just worth exploring. I think this one evoked that the most in me, because when I play these playthroughs, I do try to play them blind. You know, I don't want to know everything that's going on. I want to just experience it. And we'll touch on this later, because when it came to the final bosses, I completely missed out on some classes that I just didn't I didn't have ninja or anything. So we'll touch on that later.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I like going in blind. I don't want to do the 100% run on my first playthrough. I want to just experience the game. What I miss is what I missed. I'll have fun talking about that with you guys later.
Same way, dude. Yeah. No guides, nothing. I'm just going in there.
Right, I don't.
How the game or the developers intended is how I want to experience it. Yeah.
Right. If anything, that promotes like a fun replay later.
Yeah.
Even though I did say earlier, like I don't plan on replaying this anytime soon.
Yeah,
but when it made me feel like it way later.
You want to hear something funny?
What's up?
Daniel knows this. I played and beat this game 4 times.
He did
in 2 months.
And not only just 4 times. Not only 4 times. What else did you do?
So I played on PC. I was enjoying it so much that and every time I would go to work, I would play it on my phone on a different file. So I had 2 files going at the same time, trying out different job classes, going through it at the same time, trying to catch up to each other. I beat it twice that way, and then immediately started a white mage only run, where I beat the whole game as just the white mage. So, so that was the 3rd time, and then the 4th time was like maybe a week and a half ago to refresh myself on everything for this. So I can't say enough how much I enjoyed playing through this, to where like I'm trying to make up for lost time not playing this for so long, and now I'm like just like I need to do everything, find every mechanic, break everything in this game. To touch on like what Wiley and Lee were talking about with the continent and opening up, in my notes I put that felt very reminiscent of leaving Midgar for the first time. How Final Fantasy VII kind of just feels like it's the first 5 hours of the game. You're like, oh, like the whole game is going to be in Midgar. And then if it's your first playthrough and then you leave and then there's this open world, when you leave the continent and it's this massive, like there's so much more. And then you're like flying around, you're seeing things under the water that are just kind of barely sticking out. And you're like, something's going to be here. Something's going to be here. And then when the water settles, another thing about the interactive like environment that I loved was seeing Leviathan swimming around in the water.
Like
I was like, oh, yep. I was like, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I was like,
man.
Which also introduces, I believe, because I don't think there was any in Final Fantasy II, optional bosses that aren't part of the story, that just kind of, you know, lend yourself lends itself to wanting to explore. This game did everything right to make me want to explore. There were no massive dungeons with like empty rooms that was a fight with every tile. It was it was me wanting to actually examine each wall to see if there were cracks in it.
Yeah.
Like I have in my notes,
Oh yeah.
if you explore, the game actually rewards you with meaningful stuff like early game level 2 black magic spells that you wouldn't get until the next like 2 towns later, that really helps with whatever the next boss is going to be, or just armor for stuff, selling like items to sell. The game does a really good job at giving you the items you need to use in case you run into a difficult boss fight, because if you talk to the NPCs, they tell you, hey, this is the next big bad guy you're going to fight.
Yeah.
And like they straight up say like, oh yeah, this guy you're going to probably want to be a scholar for because he changes his weakness all the time. Or, hey, only a team of dragoons can beat this gigantic bird. And it's not true to where you have to be those things.
Yeah, I didn't get the dragoons for Garuda. Like I was.
I only used
Right.
one dragoon for Garuda.
Yeah, I was
And it
fine
was
against
me.
Garuda, but the one where it's like,
You.
hey, you need dark blades from the Dark Knights. You kind of have to, like, because you can't do damage without it. Like, you gotta have to have the Dark Knights for that. So like, there were a lot of forced optional job changes, I would call them. You know what I mean? Forced optional job changes. I still have this at my number 1. I think that, like you guys were talking about, with it being like that sense of discovery. We talked about that for part 3. We talked about that for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, how my keyword is discovery, because this game does that so freaking well. It does a gated discovery, right? Like, and the world just keeps opening up. Josh Z in chat right now, I literally just got off the floating island reveal. I was confused before then, like, why is this a giant oval? Then it was just peeling back layers of an onion. It's just peeling it back, right? So you have oh man, come on now. It's got layers. And so dude, not only are you going off the continent, you're opening up this huge gigantic world map, but then it's just like, oh, it's just like a small little island here. What's this all about? It's covered in ocean. Then you pull up the freaking land, and then you realize you can go underwater. You can, and like you guys have been already talking about all of that, where it's just like the sense of discovery is so good. You get so many airships in this game. Like, you get a battering ram,
Yes.
you get a speeding bullet, you get a freaking that can convert into a submarine, and then you got the ones that like a hawking battleship, like at the end that can do hopscotch over mountains. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Don't forget to mention that the Invincible, the airship that you get that does the hopscotch, if you get into random encounters with it, the airship has its own turn where it will shoot artillery at your enemies for you.
Yeah, dude, like artillery
That's so
support.
cool.
Oh man,
That's just like the Fahrenheit from Final Fantasy X, which I think is the coolest airship in the series. But
yeah.
the Invincible is so cool.
It was the forced optional job class changes were kind of like, I don't know. I learned about this somewhere. I can't remember the source, but they were talking about how Koichi Ishii designed all these jobs, and he kind of wants everybody to kind of experiment with all the jobs. So that's why they were kind of forced in certain areas of like, hey, you're going into the mini dungeon, you're going to need black mages because you're not going to be able to do anything otherwise because you're mini, you can't do anything. Speaking of mini, Vinny, would you like to talk about you talk about that battle music, man? I know this was a big highlight for you when it comes to the audio.
When I noticed this, I was like, that is such a cool little nuanced piece of detail. When your whole team is mini and you get into a random encounter, it is the same battle theme, just with like little tiny flutes instead of like a guitar. So I just thought it was so charming that it was like, you're these tiny little things fighting tiny little things. So the battle music is just a bunch of little flutes. It's the same exact melody, just with flutes instead of guitars and drums and stuff. So I thought that was very, very charming and a really nice detail that I think just enhanced the experience, if anything.
And we talk about discovery, man. We talk about like wanting this in part 3, missable things, moments, sequences, super bosses, items, equipment, things like that you can miss on your first playthrough, because you just have to explore. And if you don't want to explore, that's okay. You can go through it, and you can do what the Dragoon King did. I'm kind of curious let's talk about that moment where you go into the final boss, and you were hung up on it. I'm just like, hey, yo, you got the ninja though? And you're like, I guess I missed that one. And
this is the second to last boss I did, the two-headed dragon.
Okay, the two-headed dragon. That's right. Yes,
because Cloud of Darkness was easy. This is probably the easiest final boss of the damn all right, so real quick, Wiley, I remember I was texting you about Cloud of Darkness. It was 3 a.m. and I realized I didn't do one of the minier boss. I didn't do two-headed dragon. So I kept going, I'm like, this guy's just one-shotting me every time. And I was getting really annoyed.
This is the hardest boss in Final Fantasy.
Yeah. And then I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then I was like, wait, I think I have to actually beat all of them. And so I was like, all right. And then two-headed dragon was a pain. That was okay, there are only 2 bosses in this game that I really didn't enjoy, and Giant Rat was one of them. And it's because I'm gonna be honest, I think the job system is a cool system. I realize this is probably just my own play style. I'm a creature of habit. I like what I like, and I tend to stick to it. So I don't really use Black Mage as much. They're not a particular class that I enjoy using, unless there's good and this is a good reason to. The issue I had is that when the first time I hit Giant Rat, I had a red mage, I had just a red mage, white mage, monk, and warrior. So as you can imagine, that was a really, really bad experience going into that fight. And here's the thing. I know I might be in the wrong series for this, but JRPG grinding is not one of my favorite things. I'm not gonna lie. Having the need to grind the battles over and over to build up a class. I think too, weirdly enough, and I really don't mean to keep going back to this, but again, it's just the transition was just very jarring for me where I noticed this. 2, I feel like I could build my characters the way I wanted them.
Baby.
3, I have to play the characters the way that the game wants me to a certain extent. I can play the classes, whatever classes I want, and I'll have to scale to difficulty. Again, I only used 1 Dragoon during Garuda, so it's not like it's impossible to do these things at a disadvantage. But when it comes to certain things like Giant Rat, where I only had 1, because my healer was healing everybody, so all I had was the red mage to really do any offense. I was like, okay, so I have to level up some black mages. And that was a super just slog for me, going back and having to grind up the black mages just to go back and do that. And the same thing happened with Two-Headed Dragon, where that MF just kept screwing me over, man. He just kept wiping me out. And what I did, again, I made our party members us 4. Dan, I said, you're no longer the class that you are. You're being a Viking now. And so the way I did that was, all right, I'll just have a Viking to just take all the flack. But he wasn't leveled up because I hardly touched that class.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, now I got to go back. So I go back to the crystal area, to a different, to one of the bosses I defeated. I'm outside the crystal room, and I'm just going back and forth, just so that Dan can just grind up being a Viking. And I was like, all right, dude, just please be good enough. please just be good enough. And that, for me, while I understand why some people would enjoy that, there are people who enjoy these games for the grind alone. That is just, in my experience, not the most enjoyable thing to do.
I'm with you on that, right? I'm with you on I like natural level grinding, in a way.
I like problem solving. I don't like I don't like this situation I'm in where it's just I feel so disadvantaged because I didn't think to grind advantageous classes that I didn't know about going into these fights.
Yeah, it's changing your job class is cool, and if you're kind of coming in with a ramped up to your level where you are with the other job class. Maybe it's already kind of
Mhm.
it's doing the Pokemon XP share thing where it's like maybe it's
Yeah.
leveling up the other jobs as you go. I would have liked that too. I would have been like, all right, I know what I have to do, but now I just got to run around in circles and grind
Or
this
the
job.
late game classes
Yeah.
just starting off at a base higher level would have been nice. Everything's starting off at 1,
Fair.
like job class 1. So yeah, that's my situation. I'm now at Two-Headed Dragon. He's one-shotting everybody, and I can't keep everyone alive long enough to keep up with him. And now my solution is I'm looking at the classes. I'm like, okay, I think a Viking would be super beneficial
Yeah.
here, but I've never used one really for that. I'm like, okay, I don't have one that's higher than like level 3. So my situation was then grind up a class because I need somebody to be something different. And I just wasn't particularly fond of the job system in this game for that reason, because it didn't feel like I could adapt the characters to the situation. It felt like I had to make the characters just be something else entirely. It's like, you're not good enough. Go be something else.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
How often did you use items?
Like what? Just like any item? Like, because I feel like I used
Not healing items.
I told him
battle
use
items.
turtle shell.
yeah, I was just saying, I used like turtle shell. Really, only
Because-
towards the end game. I mean, I'll be honest. Giant rat and Two-Headed Dragon were like, there was a couple of bosses that did a number on me, but those were the two who just, besides obviously Cloud of Darkness when it was invincible and I actually couldn't do anything. I'm not gonna count
Yeah.
that though, because I had the
Right.
3 a.m. foggy brain. I was like, I'm doing something wrong. I'm going to bed. And then I woke up the next day. I was like, I realized what I'm doing wrong.
Explain these items, Fire Go Fighter. What are these items?
please explain items, because I used items, but I
Why-
don't
why
know
ask
where
'em?
you're going with this.
What are
I'm-
items?
I'm-
That's wired. So
I'm
What is an item?
asking
The scholar rat?
because a lot of like I would be inclined to agree with you with like the forced optional stuff had I not been able to go through the game as just white mages. And so through that, trying to kind of route my path on the path of least resistance that's not going to make me pull my hair out. The game actually does a very, very, very good job if you explore, giving you all the items you need to just put your party in the back row and pepper the bosses with level 3 black magic spells, either from equipment or items that you can throw. So if you had a red mage, like in your everybody's mini fighting the giant rat, the game actually gives you enough items to kill the rat with items alone. Like you don't even need to cast black magic. You can just
Now, if that's
use-
if I go around and collect everything that was hidden. Like, are you
That's-
saying like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's if you collect everything and you explore, it's kind of rewarding you for like not have like it. The game kind of like, I guess, knew going in like, okay, if people don't want to change their job class, if it's forced and they don't know that it's forced, then they might get hard stuck here. So they gave you items that would make it easier. It turns your melee fighters into spellcasters for that fight, and it like if you were to put, let's say, like a fire rod on your white mage, she would be able to cast fire every single turn or cast healing like without having to be a black mage. The game does a lot of like kind of checks and balances that way to kind of make it so that you can still play the classes you want and then not have to, you know, force a change to grind up to the boss fight and then like continue. I will say a lot of the I guess bad the bad reviews of the original Final Fantasy 3 came from the fact that the final dungeon you actually
yeah.
had to do in one go. There was no saving. So if you lost to a boss, you had to fight all 4 bosses plus Cloud of Darkness again. You had to do the
wild.
entire last dungeon
So
from the
crazy.
beginning every single time.
Oh,
Hard pass.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow.
they changed that to make people, I guess, want to continue to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
No,
I'm gonna
wait,
add to
but-
your point, Vinny. So
Okay, go.
when I
Mike.
played this last fall with my daughter, one of her favorite classes, if not her favorite, was the scholar. And so, bro, did she whip those items out? I mean, she was shredding. enemies with the items, man. Like I had to convince her not to use the items in regular fights to save them for bosses and stuff, because she was just like having too much fun just one shot and stuff. So yeah, Lee, I mean, I'm gonna echo what he said. Like they give you, like sometimes you'll get drops and stuff like that, but a lot of the time they're just giving you what you need in chests, like just the right amount for the big encounters and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry too much. Did you use the scholar, Lee? Do you know?
I did use. I forgot. I didn't use it terribly often. It was. It was fun.
Doubles the effect or something.
I know it doubles the effect of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I hear what you guys are saying, and that's a very fair point. But I guess my own counterpoint for that, and this is a very personal counterpoint, is just how, like, for me, pacing is always something that I'm very hit or miss with games. It depends on how intrigued I am with you know, like trying to get somewhere with the story versus just doing everything the game has to offer. Like if you go back and watch our Rebirth analysis, I did every piece of side content on my first playthrough when the game presented it, and like I did everything before finishing the game. And with this game, I feel like the difference between this and say Rebirth for me was that Rebirth, I didn't struggle to enjoy the pacing of like the story, probably because I was very invested in it. With this one, I really wanted to figure out where the story was going. So I did do a lot of exploration, but I don't even know if in my first like blind playthrough, if I would be thinking to check all the secrets initially, because I really was interested to see what there was to present to me. And I feel like the pacing of this game for that reason was like interesting, because if I'm looking at like my playthrough, I just talked about how much I loved like the discovery in this game, but I feel like in the early sections of the game, so now I'm trying to like think about item usage early on with like Giant Rat, because I know for a fact I was using items later on, like
he froze.
Shell and everything. Now
There we go.
frozen. I froze. No, but I know I was using items way later in the game. Earlier in the game, I don't know. Maybe my problem was that I was trying to figure out where the story was taking me, and I didn't do nearly as much exploration that early, because I just was interested in what was happening, and I feel like I was beelining a lot in the early parts of this game. So
I do want to talk about, we were talking about that Crystal Tower, right? We talked about how cool that Crystal Tower is. Now, visually, I mean, it's freaking amazing. It's almost like hauntingly beautiful in a way. But I do want to talk about the audio before we get into visuals. So let's talk about audio. I'll reveal mine right now. I actually have the audio at 3. So it goes Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 1, and then Final Fantasy 3. I think the soundtrack, to me personally, I just didn't feel like there was anything that really stood out to me. And I feel like, Lee, you share that sentiment.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's not bad.
Yeah, Excalibur,
it's not bad.
I believe you also... No, never mind. We're going to get to you in a second. Yeah, so me and Lee are kind of a little lower on this one. Now, I think the Crystal Tower and the Forbidden Land...
That's the best theme for me, too.
Oh, no, you didn't even go below the Crystal Tower, Lee. You need to go...
No, Crystal Tower. I'm not talking about whatever happened below. I'm talking about just Crystal Tower.
I know. Crystal Tower's amazing. Go down in the basement, man, for some Forbidden Land Eureka. Huh. The Pixel remaster of this song? Dude, I almost want to say up to this point is probably Uematsu's best work, right? Like, the Crystal Tower and the Forbidden Land, probably some of his best work. This dude is really finding his groove right now. He's really finding it with Final Fantasy 3. And if you go back to the NES or the Famicom chiptune music, you can also hear that evolution as well. And fun fact for you, they this kind of goes for the entire game in itself, like gameplay and audio, because this game, Final Fantasy 3, took advantage of an upgraded Famicom cartridge from Final Fantasy 2, used the MMC1, which is 128 kilobytes, y'all.
Damn,
bro,
that's heavy.
That's heavy, bro.
That's heavy.
Then get this. Final Fantasy 3 uses the MMC3's 512 kilobytes.
We're half a megabyte, baby.
Crazy, bro. And that updated memory management controller allowed advanced programming, enhanced magic effects, like summons when Odin cuts the screen. That was insane back then, right? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't around to, like, I was a little baby. I was an infant. But
I was negative something.
I saw in my research, people were going nuts, right? So like the cutting the screen was a big deal back then. Because of this upgraded Famicom cartridge, they were able to do things like that. It also allowed for all of these job classes that they use in this game. Like remember when we talked about Final Fantasy 1 and we were like, oh, they had to limit the amount of characters used in the story. Like they weren't able to like talk much because they couldn't fit that much storage onto the cartridge. And remember when the characters' names, like right here, and remember when you could only use 4 characters, right? Like I don't know about the NES version of Final Fantasy 3 if you were able to increase that. I'm not sure. But the fact that this was the limitations of Final Fantasy 1, and then now with Final Fantasy 3 with the upgraded cartridge, they were able to do that. And then it was able to push the Famicom to its limits and also improve the music. And that was a really big deal, especially for Uematsu. Now he's able to improve the music a lot more in this one, and you can hear it when you go back and you listen to the NES version of the soundtrack. Now, of course, the Pixel remaster is just where it's at with, yeah. So, Fire Fighter, you're itching. Go
Yes, because I share your sentiment with Eureka being an amazing soundtrack from this game, but honestly, I think, like, without question, I think the track that hard carries this game's audio is the overworld theme. I think it's probably one of the best overworld themes in the entire series that I could literally just sit and listen to. And my favorite part, is that when you're in the overworld and you go into your menu, it doesn't stop playing. It doesn't do some stupid
it doesn't go into the
the overworld
like the old.
I forgot about that. Actually,
that was great. I loved the overworld theme.
Eternal Wind,
honestly,
right?
I could
That's what it's called.
Yes, I could just listen to that.
Wind.
So
just has this proper like adventure vibe to it, man. Like, yeah, man, that's up there for me, man. Like, so you have Forbidden Land, Eureka. Obviously, it's got the choir. It's just epic. Eternal Wind, just like I said, it's all adventure vibes, but also like the battle tracks in this, man, are some of my favorite. Like, they're definitely my favorite so far. Battle tracks 1 and 2 and the last battle. All these battle tracks really are just bangers, man. And like they set the tone, they bring the energy up. Like, it's just nice.
Nice. It's just noise. Yeah, so you had that ranked at number 2 there, underneath of Final Fantasy 2. And the audio, obviously, for these first couple games is going to be pretty much the soundtrack. I mean, we're not judging based off of the sound effects. We're not going off of voiceovers, because that doesn't exist. So it's basically the OST at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, like, I like this one. It just didn't feel like there was a lot of standout tracks to me. And Lee, you have this same sentiment here, but was there a track that really stood out to you? Did you have
Crystal Tower?
The Crystal Tower. Yeah, the
Crystal Tower was.
man,
We
so
sort of
good.
talked about it already.
That's
It's,
right.
Yeah, it's good. I just agree though. This one, I think, again, nothing was bad. There was no song. I'm like, wow, this is a bad. So it was just, I think, I don't know a word that doesn't sound like not unfun. It's just for me the most forgettable, I guess. It's just, it doesn't, nothing really stuck with me. I didn't find myself listening to this soundtrack as much after.
Agreed.
Usually after I play a game, I love listening to the soundtracks. I think I listened to it like once over. No, today actually, before we were on
just
here.
To make sure I'm not going crazy. I'm like, nah, I still want to go back and listen to
that.
That
was the weird part, was I listened to it earlier and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then I feel like I was just like, okay, yeah, that was a song.
Yeah, no.
Like, good work, Nobu. That was
It
great.
compliments. It compliments. Now, Fire Go Fighter. Talk about visuals
Yes.
for a second here. Wait, I gotta
Okay.
go over to the Fire Go Fighter. That's not your ranking. This is your right here. So Fire Go Fighter, you
Yes.
have this at number 1 for your visuals. Now, was there a particular like shout out to a level or maybe a battle background that was visually impressive or intriguing to you?
Yes, my first random encounter underwater, when I saw the visual, how it was like you were fighting underwater, but it also kind of looked like the sun was like rising from above the water, and like the sand was just kind of going up, like you were like kind of at the deep part of a beach, like maybe however many feet out it just goes down that first dip, and you have all the seaweed, all the water. It was just very it was probably the most colorful and contrasted battle background that I've seen from 1, 2, and 3 together. Aside from Chaos's boss arena, which I think is still a masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
This random encounter background was just it. This might sound stupid, but honestly, it made me not mind doing underwater battles, because they were all easy. I could honestly just turn off random encounter and nothing would really change. The XP wasn't really all that crazy, but I enjoyed the background so much that I wanted to spend more time underwater, and I did. I searched all over underwater to look for secrets, for anything. I was hoping that Emerald was going to be somewhere swimming around. Like, I wanted some type of underwater super boss.
Man, you were vibing that underwater eye candy, bro. Like, just,
Yeah. I was
crazy.
really enjoying the underwater aspect through, honestly, just through like exploring underwater. I thought there was going to be more. I am a little disappointed that there wasn't more, and I know that's because they probably couldn't fit more into the game. Like, they literally said they couldn't fit more into the game, but there were areas underwater that had detail to it for no reason, and it was like coral reefs and stuff that, like, if you were to go above the water, there's nothing there. You just go under, and then there's just like this coral reef for no reason. I swam around looking for something. I thought something had to be there because there's just this detailed patch of underwater that had nothing there, and I was like, there was just so much more that could have been done with the underwater, because they had very, very chill, nice underwater music, which I think any Final Fantasy that goes underwater, you kind of like look for that underwater music.
I just hear it. Hear
But
that Final Fantasy 7 music right now.
yeah. But yeah, no, just like being underwater, and honestly, the visual that you're showing right now
Yeah.
is different than the one I saw.
Oh, is that not the one you were
Underwater.
talking about? This one right here? This is not the one?
No, I'll try and find the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Which kind of makes me think that there's different backgrounds for underwater fights.
Yeah, that's the underwater fight. Yeah, you have to find it for me, because this one has the light beams coming in up top, the seaweed. It looks like. So, but yeah, if you find it, let me know. All right. So we talked. I feel like we've talked about the story, the gameplay.
Wait, real quick.
audio and
I was
the
curious where you
visuals.
guys put the visuals. We only
The
talked about
visuals.
Vinny's.
Okay, so that's where I'm at right now. All right, so anybody have any closing thoughts, or not closing thoughts, any thoughts on the visuals here? Whereas I think, where did I put it? Right there, boom, visual. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna bring up mine. So visuals here, I got it at number 2, right? So I really loved the variations of the biomes, like the underwater, the in the sky, you're fighting off of the airship there. That was really cool too. You got a lot of different visually pleasing, aesthetically pleasing areas. I thought the art design was incredible here with the floating continents. You have underwater dungeons, and then you, of course, the Crystal Tower, right? The Crystal Tower was just so beautiful. I don't think it was as amazing as when you go into Pandemonium in Final Fantasy 2, or like, going down in chaos, fighting chaos there, and like So there's just one thing's for sure: Final Fantasy knows how to do a freaking final dungeon, man. like to make it so hype. The visuals, the audio, and everything is just so freaking hype. Getting into these final dungeons in these first 3 Final Fantasies, it really conveys that the experience of just growing throughout the game. Of like, dude, you've come so far, and this is it. Visually, the game is super impressive. I did like the Leviathan Shadow. We talked about that. The world map actually having visual, I don't know, landmarks or like points of interest, right? There's points of interest on the world map, and you're like, oh, how can I get there? I gotta, I'll find out that later. I can hop these mountain ranges. I can go underwater. I can there's so many different things there. So visually, really love this game. So it's number 2 right now. Where I love Final Fantasy 2 for its like war-torn environments and just it's that I don't know, that just appeals to me. Like the way they conveyed the visuals there. That's why I gave the edge to Final Fantasy.
The change
2.
of the environment in 2
yeah,
is cool.
everything changed.
Not that it's not cool in 3, but like the way that the events are shaping the story negative or the environment negatively in 2. So, whereas I feel like we're peeling back more in 3. 2 is sort of a regression of the environment. We're seeing a lot of it taken away from us. I guess I'm going up.
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, no, pretty much similar sentiments to you, Dan. Everything I liked visually, you sort of nailed. I think that the only reason I have 2 higher is because I liked the grittiness of what we were just talking about, that environmental impact, and also the dungeons. Granted, the dungeons in this game are much better.
Oh yeah, visual. Yeah, dude, agreed.
But like the dungeons are better in 3, but they look better in 2, especially Pandemonium. I think that the way that I just remember the dungeons looking really nice in 2, and the character portraits was a huge big point for visuals for me in 2. Like when they show those character portraits. So in 3,
oh yeah,
I do think though that like this game's got a lot going for it. I feel like the visual aspect really comes with what we were talking about earlier with the discovery. Seeing Leviathan swimming around, seeing these like mountains, and then seeing the little like dips that you can get the airship into, and all the different environments that we travel to. So yeah, no, visually it's pretty, and it's a step up from 1. It feels very similar to 1.
It's like when we go
in a lot of aspects.
Obviously,
it's just like upgraded 1 visually.
Yeah, we're obviously we're going off the pixel remasters where the graphics are pretty much the same, but like what we're doing right now is we're basing our ranking off of the the art direction, right? So we're going off the art direction. We're going off of visually, aesthetically pleasing dungeons and levels and things like that. So just want to clarify that in case if anybody's like, dude, they all look the same.
Yeah, they all look the same. No, like that's why I brought up the portraits in 2, because that was the big point for me in that one. It gave it character where granted the Onion Knights aren't really prominent characters. They are there and they have a journey, but their character, like compared to like say 2, and that's the art direction of that game, is making us giving these characters an identity when you're in the menu and you're looking at their portraits.
Yeah,
that's why that's what I think, because it's funny you mentioned that, Dad, because I thought about that.
I know, it's like what are we actually judging?
Like, why
here?
are we ranking? They all look the same more or less with some minor differences.
So Excalibur,
real quick.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Wired in chat did say that there is an underwater background that has coral in it. That's the one that I'm talking about. Coral.
Okay.
I just can't find it on Google, but I will take a screenshot of my game and send it to you.
You're gonna bring it. Okay. Excalibur.
Wily visuals.
What do you got to say about the visuals?
You know what? You guys said 90% of it. 2. The reason that I put 2 visual and audio over 3 is because of the package, the whole vibe. There's a tone to the visuals and the music, and that, like you said, it's sort of that war-torn, atmosphere. So really 3 looks great. I love 3. There's a few things in 3 that detract from me. So the first thing I would say is the lack of portraits. Another thing that I wasn't a big fan of visually is the way that you look when you're mini in the mini village. Some of that stuff, it just ended up looking really cheap, like compared
too
to
simple.
the production value of everything else right next to it. And so there's just sort of like this style clash that kind of threw me off a couple times. Otherwise, I mean, stylistically, it's peak, you know, for Pixel. I mean, it looks as good as everything else that we've looked at so far, you know, in my opinion. There are, like I said, there's reasons that I choose 2 over 3, and it has more to do with cohesion and story than the actual visual. So it's the way it all comes together. One thing I love about 3, man, the visuals, is the summons. And I didn't talk about this during gameplay, but this is the first time we have summons. And this is a big thing for me. So I don't know if I even talked about gameplay much, but for me, gameplay is the one area where it completely beat out the other 2 so far. You've got new job commands, you've got summons, you've got exploration, you've got hidden bosses, you've got secret passages. You just have so much stuff that you can do that you haven't been able to do up to this point. And it's really sort of a feast. I mean, they're taking the best ideas that they've had to this point, and they're sort of raising the bar with it. And for me, the gameplay really is what stood out. And if you're a challenge run guy like Vinny, or you really, really like gameplay, I could see why this game would be like immediately elevated, right? Because there's so many different ways to play. Like, I understand what you're saying, Lee, where you can't always play the way that you want to play, but they do give you tools. They do give you tools, you know, which is sort of what Vinny was saying. Some of that's items, but really what they're giving you is sort of this package to experiment with. You have these new action commands, which have never been, you know, seen before. In Final Fantasy 1, there's a thief. He can't steal, right? So we're getting
Thief who can't steal.
Correct, right? So in Final Fantasy 3, we get sort of the culmination of these ideas. We get originality with every single job class. You get some action that you can take. I don't want to say that nobody else can do, because you have these awesome classes like the Sage that sort of distills everything, you know, that you have as a magic user down to one thing. You can pick your summons and your white magic and your black magic and just customize that character exactly how you want them. And these are the reasons that for me the gameplay was the strongest. And I'm going to take this all back to visuals. So the Leviathan thing that you guys talked about was another big deal for me. Like, so I don't know why it is that one stands out particularly. Maybe there's a Midgar-Zalem connection. There's also some lore connections and stuff like that. Some, you know, there's some like biblical references and stuff. Actually, I didn't talk about that either. So you got like, you mind if I give you a lore burn real quick?
Dude, let's do it. All right, I had it in my notes for Legacy, but let's go for it right now because we're getting into it.
All right, we'll transition into Legacy from here. So Final Fantasy 3 draws from biblical and Near Eastern flood mythology. You have Noah, right, the sage, functioning as like this mythic founder in the same sort of mold as the biblical Noah. Or Mesopotamia has a character called Utnapishtim, which is in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and he's a survivor of the flood. And so in Final Fantasy 3, Noah's greatest act is sealing Bahamut and Leviathan, which mirrors the ancient traditions where divine heroes subdue primordial chaos beasts to make the world livable. So, like in Hebrew and Enochic lore, Leviathan is a dragon like of the deep, underwater, right? And then you have Behemoth, which is the land monster. And here's what's interesting, is that the Hebrew equivalent, Behemoth, shares etymological origins with Bahamut. That's the Arabic adaptation of the same creature. So in Final Fantasy 3, Noah binds these equivalents, sort of reenacting this archetypal defeat of chaos, right? Which you find across Genesis, Enoch, and Mesopotamian creation myths. So the game's geography reinforces the flood imagery. You have the water crystals, imbalance, the submerged world, you know, echoes the Genesis and the Gilgamesh floods where corruption unleashes water that resets civilization. And then you've also got the village of Ur, which is in Gilgamesh, but it's also in the Bible. So check this out. Ur is the biblical cradle of Abraham's lineage and the idyllic post-flood enclave of Utnapishtim, which is the Noahic figure from the Gilgamesh epic. And so, like these ancient survivors, the people of Final Fantasy III's floating continent represent like a protected remnant of humanity preserved after a catastrophe. So you sort of put this all together, and Final Fantasy III isn't just borrowing like a few names, it's retelling like this deep structure of ancient flood epics, chaos monsters restrained by a sage, world rebuilt after waters recede, and like a select remnant chosen to maintain this fragile order created in the wake of a catastrophe, right? So you got like this whole lore piece, which is just really cool to me. So that for me is sort of, yeah, that's what I like the best about like all the myth stuff that comes together.
I love this stuff, bro. Hey, don't save it until the end, though. I feel like we need to. we did the Paradise Lost thing last time with Final Fantasy 2, and it was like, oh, dude, this is so good. But yeah, but that is awesome. I love all of that stuff. I was picking up on a lot of the biblical like references in the flood and all that stuff. So the fact that you were able to put all that together, amazing. Thank you so much for that, Excalibur, bro.
Pleasure, bro.
Now, I'm sorry, but Wired's comment, Dan, you're supposed to
go off screen while
Wiley's
you know.
Yeah, Dan, why are you still here?
I gotta get out of here.
The walk off, bro.
Hey, next time you see me walk off, you know it's about to get good. You know.
Yeah. You know
that really hurts my feelings when I say that out loud. Like,
yeah, it's getting really good when Dan walks.
Dude, I
don't like saying that.
Yeah. Nothing speaks to a show's quality when the host leaves
and it gets good.
Leaves. You guys got this.
Hey, that just means I trust you guys. All right, I trust you a lot. You know? Like he's got it from here. Yeah. I can let him go. I don't need to keep my mouse on the end stream button. I'm good. Like the entire time. What are you saying? What are you gonna say next? Now we're gonna go into the legacy because I like that. I put that in my notes. You said you wanted to save it for the end, and I'm like, yeah, perfect. It goes along with the legacy of the game because it's like, hey, you know, this is why it solidified its place. It also, from what I said at the top with Sakaguchi and how I feel like this is really the beginning of what Final Fantasy is going to become as far as like the message and the meaning and stuff like that. So let's talk about where we rank these games in the overall series. We got to see where we rank them as far as the 4 pillars. It's the 4 pillars in this one because the 5th pillar is legacy, and obviously for the 5th pillar being legacy, that's our series ranking. Like this is where
that's what I wanted to ask because I feel like legacy and our series ranking could kind of be different.
So
like,
legacy,
I can appreciate this.
Yeah.
But not rank it high. You know what I mean? Like I could appreciate what it's doing and its legacy, but its series ranking.
It's the series.
Like, I'll be up front. I'll be up front. Like not to spoil everything for myself at least, but if you guys have been paying attention, this is my least favorite one I've played so far. But I can appreciate the impact and where it goes from here. So I might argue that its legacy is higher.
This pillar, the legacy pillar for this particular series, is our personal impact. The impact that it had on us, right? Like it's the So legacy is usually the impact that it made on the in the gaming industry or gaming world or whatever, right? So like when I'm doing a particular review or whatever, I call it the 5 pillars. So we got for this one in particular, that's going to be how it impacted us. And that, of course, is where it's going to rank. And we're doing this.
It's our legacy.
Yes, it's our legacy.
Living legacy.
You are my living legacy.
That totally recontextualizes everything. Because if anything, I think my legacy and my series would be opposite right now. Like they would be looking the exact opposite direction. So that's why I wanted to clarify.
Fair enough. I'm glad that we got that. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to clarify that in case if anybody watching needs the clarification. So as far as that means, it just means where we rank them in the series. So let's get on with that part of it here. And you know what? Am I ready? Yeah, I got it all set up. So I had a tough time with this one, y'all. So I'm going to start it off. I'll start with my story right now currently. And this is the Origins era of Final Fantasy complete, right? Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. I'm calling that the Origins era. And then we'll go on into 4, 5, and 6, and that's going to be I forgot what I called that. It's the SNES era, but we'll come with a better name. Now, I have story, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, and then Final Fantasy 1. I think the story, obviously, I love Star Wars. I love the mature story aspect of Final Fantasy 2, the war-torn themes and all that other stuff. But we talked about that last time. We go over to gameplay. I got Final Fantasy 3 at number 1. The reason being is that Final Fantasy 3 is just simply put a better video game than the other two. So
yeah,
I mean, it's hard to deny that with Final Fantasy 2, I have to make concessions. I have to, in order to fully enjoy that game, you gotta turn off the encounter rate for a little bit. You got to maybe use the map if you're going through it on the second playthrough and you've already done this and you're just like, okay, I'm tired of running into empty rooms. The dungeon design in 3 is insanely good. We talked about the secret passages and it's just really, really good with the dungeon design, the job class change system and all that other stuff. Really, really good, well done. Amazing replayability on this one. Final Fantasy 3 it's taking what Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 2 did and just all the good parts of those and bringing them in. Like, you still get Final Fantasy 2's hey, you get to be who you want your characters to be, and you can change that throughout the game like Final Fantasy 2, just change the weapon. It'll get better at the weapon that they're using. In Final Fantasy 3, change your job and you'll level up that job. Just like so in my mind, it's like, hey, the jobs are the weapons. Like from Final Fantasy 2, it's the jobs that you have to bring up from 1. So I like Final Fantasy 3, amazing gameplay. Going over to audio, I already talked about how I love Final Fantasy 2's. Honestly, listening to Final Fantasy 2 during this reviewed and ranked, I'm going to be surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm very interested to see how long it remains at number 1 because I freaking love that soundtrack. Final Fantasy 2 is super good, dude.
Oh yeah.
And then Final Fantasy 3, like I said, not really many standout tracks except for Eureka and Crystal Tower. Go over the visuals. Visuals, it's at number 2. Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy. And then for my series ranking, I had a real time with this because this goes to show. It goes to the conversation of the pillars. If you have a game that has simply a better video game, simply better gameplay, wouldn't that mean it should be the number 1 choice? I mean, well, we have audio, Final Fantasy 2, visuals, Final Fantasy 2, story, Final Fantasy 2. But gameplay, it wasn't number 1. In fact, I think I might have struggled to maybe put this down to 3. The gameplay of 2 is just it's not that great. So what pillar is holding the most weight here? I have it at number 2. Final Fantasy 2 is still my favorite of the 3. I love the story of 2. I want to go back and revisit that world. I want to go back and replay that game, right? Whereas with Final Fantasy 3, I love the goofiness of it. I love that I was having fun. I love that it was like I'm laughing. I've literally laughed out loud multiple times in this game. So it's a tonal shift. It's a complete tonal shift. But my personal tastes, I just think 2 has characters that I've grown attached to. It has a story that I like. It's Star Wars inspired. I love Star Wars. So it's just a game that I want to experience again, and I will make those concessions thanks to the Pixel remaster, and I will make some changes where it need to be. So yeah, it's at number 2 for me right now, then Final Fantasy 3. No, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy. That is my rankings, everybody. Sorry I took too long on the pillars. I shouldn't do that. So let's kind of like go through, because we had the whole podcast to talk about the pillars. So let's go over to Excalibro. Let me get your rankings up.
Make sure you end with Vinny because we should end this on a higher note.
Yeah.
I was
Right,
hoping I was
so-
Vinny second, but let's go, Wiley. What you got? Hit it.
Yeah. So okay. So story. You know, I need characters, and I need stuff to happen with characters, and 3, it didn't have that for me. So 2 beats it out, plain and simple. So let's hit the next pillar. Gameplay. Okay, 3 is king. Like all hell, 3 on gameplay for real. We talked about this. We beat this to death. 3 really nailed down what it means to be a Final Fantasy in terms of gameplay.
Absolutely.
Audio, I go 2, then 3, then 1. I like what 3's doing. It's got a lot of tracks that I gravitate toward. We talked about those, but I like the overall motif and the darker, more somber theme of 2. It fit with the story. Story is king to me, so everything that pitches in toward the story elevates the game. Visuals, again, it was just the matching of the visuals to the story and the theme that 2 had that sold it for me, which is not to say that 3 doesn't have great visuals. 3 was amazing. I mean, Vinny pointed out some of the best things about it.
Now, before we go into the final pillar, you said something
I'm
important.
ready for a plot twist.
'Cause you
Plot
said
twist, right?
Story is
look
king,
at all,
right?
Look at all. Story is king. Story is king, and look at how I rate everything so far, right? So look at this. Let's start with, okay, so story, I got Final Fantasy 2. Wait, hold up.
Oh, sorry.
Was that how I rated ranked story?
Pretty sure.
I think so because based off our entire conversation, you
Yeah.
made it seem like
Oh,
one
wait,
had
yeah,
a
yeah.
better
No,
story.
I'm looking at the other 2, but
You
that's
got
okay.
2, 3, and 1.
That's okay.
2, 3, and 1.
That's okay.
If you want to change it, that's fine.
It don't matter. It's not that critical. We can skip to them, but if you look across all my rankings, you'll see that consistently I'm putting 3. It's 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and gameplay 3 comes first.
Mm-hmm. And now,
So you may be surprised for the plot twist we got here. I go 2, 1, 3, and why do I go 2, 1, 3? Well, some of it's tone in 3. Some of it really is that story piece that just bugs me. And Final Fantasy 1 has sort of this classic hero's journey story just kind of baked into it. Also, I'm going to freely admit I'm a little bit biased. Like, I have a lot of experience playing Final Fantasy 1. I played it on the NES way back in the day. The hardest version of it you could play. I played it on the PlayStation. I forget what that edition is called. It's got 1 and 2 on it. Chronicle?
Dawn
No.
of Souls? Dawn of Souls? That one?
Yeah, I think that's the one. And then obviously I played the Pixel Remaster. For me, there's just something special about 1 that's hard for me to quantify, and it transcends my ability to put it into words. For me, it's number 2. It beats out number 3. I'm sorry, Vinny. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about number 3. But for me, it's 2, 1, 3
Did you say on the PlayStation?
on the PlayStation.
That's Origins.
It was-
Origins?
Yeah,
Origins,
okay,
Origins. Yeah, that's the one. I really like the graphics in the Origins too, by the way. I had a really nice presentation of the characters and stuff. Really, really pretty.
Okay, Dragoon King. Here we go with
All right.
yours.
Wow, I wonder what this is gonna look like.
All right, Lee, let's do it. Let's do this.
All right, so we're gonna spark notes this because I think we've all touched on these points and some similar sentiments. 2, just to me was really shocking with like what they were able to do with limited hardware, and just the ambition that this game had for its story was really incredible to me. And I said it earlier with 1, I feel like 1 had it laid its cards on the table. The story it was telling, it was simple, but it was easy to follow. I felt like I was just, start to finish, I enjoyed it. 3, I didn't find myself getting attached to the characters or the plights of like the world. Like this one really missed the mark, I think, for me on a story side. So gameplay, I'm actually considering, I think, Dan, I might need a revision. Not now,
Okay.
but I realized something with this. I think I bogged this down because I really did not like the I did not like how they implemented the job system in this game. And I know I'm in the minority on that, but now that I'm thinking about the discovery end of things and how the world was presented, the actual feel of playing this game on the exploration side of things was very fun. I really didn't like the combat in this game. Like, I didn't like how the job system was implemented. The actual, like, playing, the way the classes worked was cool. I feel like it was just when the game really pushed me into a corner and was like, you need to level up this class, so go get to grinding. I hated that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was just like something I didn't enjoy. But everything else, man, was really good. And now that I'm thinking about it, I might. Nah, just leave it. All right, let's move on.
What's fun about this is that we're gonna do our milestone podcast. Now, the milestone podcast is gonna be for the Patreon supporters, and then it'll be recorded, and then we're gonna take all of those milestone podcasts, chop them together, put them together in one nice video or a couple of nice videos for you. And in those milestone podcasts, we're gonna break these pillars down into even more pillars.
Okay.
Like, we break it down, like, so, like, that's what gameplay, like, this is a huge umbrella. It's a huge
umbrella.
Yeah. We're covering a lot of things with just when you say gameplay. Because battle system, discovery, those are two different things.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now, but when I'm thinking about gameplay, I'm thinking about how I was mostly frustrated when playing this one. So just leave it at 3.
That makes sense, right? Yeah.
Like, for the cool things that I enjoyed, there was just a lot of things that I think
it's accurate for you for the fact that you said afterwards. It's like, I don't think I'll return to this one, which I feel like I think that basically sums up. Okay.
I really did admire when this game hit its stride again. It really just the way it presented itself with the world. That was the best, like, for me. So anyway, next pillar. Okay, let's move on. All right, yeah, same sentiment as you. I could be quick about this one. It's just the soundtrack. Nothing really stuck with me on this one. Crystal Tower was awesome, but it's just, it's a good soundtrack. It's just not as good as the other two.
Wired says critically speaking. Critically is speaking. And visuals.
You and I'm critical. I am very critical in this game. Visuals. Yeah, man. All right, look, man, visuals to me. Yeah, man. Visuals to me. It really is about for these games, it's carried by tone and character and art direction. 1 is very simple and straightforward, and 3 is very similar to 1. 2 just had way more flavor to it, I feel like. Whether it was just the way that the story. 2 and 3 kind of do polar opposite things with their visuals. I feel like 3 is really peeling, or how do I put this? Like, it's really exposing you to more of the world, whereas 2 is taking a lot of it away from you. Which I think was interesting. But beyond that, just again, the dungeons, gameplay wise, were probably better in 3, but visually, I liked them more in 2.
Bro, I love what you just said. I love what you just said.
Yeah.
Where it's like 3 feels like it's giving you more world, and 2 feels like it's taking it away from you.
Yeah,
Yo,
no, 2.
That's
just
really
until
good.
you get to a later entry in the series.
Oh, bro.
Well, I can't wait because I don't know which one you're talking about. But anyway,
a secret.
2.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, I said it before too, but the portraits really stood out to me in this game, and being that's the first, and it really sold me on the characters. Just it made me grow to like them more. And every time we got the guest party members, seeing these new portraits in your little party was fun. I don't know, the direction of 2 just really just it was a great carry, and I love everything that game was selling me visually.
And now,
all right, so now
to nobody's surprise,
it's number 1. No,
let's go back and talk about the pillars. Like, what do they actually mean? Because I got it number 1.
It's the best. No, so it's
I think you said everything. I
said everything, man.
Everything.
I appreciate where this game did hit the mark for me, but for the most part, I played it.
You played it. You played this game.
You did.
The giant rat hurt you. Wired said the giant rat hurt you too much.
I was really really close to throwing in the towel a couple times, man. I was close, but I did it, and I'm proud.
I feel like I was your emotional support animal, bro.
You were. I was not. Listen, man. Final Fantasy. I love you. I love all of you. You're like these like little children that I'm just growing to love more and more. But there's always that one little shitbird that like. Listen, I love you all, but one of you's just got to be the most annoying to deal with. And for now, it's 3.
Have you ever like? I'm gonna bring this up because I'm such a dad. You ever watched the K-pop Demon Hunters video or movie yet?
I have not watched it. No.
Where he goes, every
it.
snowflake is special, but one of them is probably the best. Just like I laugh every time.
Snowflake is special, and one of them is just like a little demented and weird looking. Yeah, and it's got to be 3, man. I'm sorry for all the 3 enjoyers out there, but I peeled back the layers of your onion knight, and they didn't do anything for me. So,
all right, here we go.
Vinny, now tell us why they did something for you.
All right,
Vinny.
Yes.
There you go, bro.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
So,
yes. No, that's it.
I just said your name and then I'm like, I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I said it. I'm like, Vinny.
Vinny. Yeah, so I will say Final Fantasy 2 is a better story. It's more cohesive. It has characters with actual like backstory. They're like fleshed out. I also think that, I mean, they took a winning formula with Star Wars and then made a video game out of it. So it's like really hard to not have a good story when you have a great story that you base it off of. So like Final Fantasy 2 out like definitely gets top spot for story out of the 3 of them for me. When it comes to gameplay, I have Final Fantasy 3 at number 1 because I feel like Final Fantasy 3, like you said, Daniel, took all the best of 1 and 2 and then just kind of added to it to make it better. I mean, we like Wiley said, you have the thief class now that can steal, but it could also unlock locked doors in the actual world. So like your job classes had things to do outside of battle as well. And then the exploration was perfect, I think. And I played the game 4 times in 2 months.
Period.
I genuinely enjoyed this as my first, second, third, fourth playthrough of the game. But I do have Final Fantasy 1 over Final Fantasy 2 with gameplay because, believe it or not, I did not like the leveling system in Final Fantasy 2. I just didn't like that really at all. I like the traditional leveling system and I like the job class system. Final Fantasy 3 did so many firsts for the series that are still felt today, especially in games like what you play, Lee, in Final Fantasy 14. Like the job class system is just so perfect now because Final Fantasy 3 crawled, so the later ones
it had to start somewhere.
Yeah,
the
foundation.
That's why I said I don't like how it was implemented in 3, but I can see where that grows.
Right, and so along with the firsts, we have summons, which I'm putting in visuals instead of gameplay for right now. I'm sorry, did I skip over audio? I thought visuals was
I'm with you, baby.
Good or not?
I'm with you. I got you.
But the summons, summons are one of my favorite things about Final Fantasy, and the first 2 lacking summons kind of like sucked, because going from later games that had summons going to these where you don't have summons, you kind of feel like something's missing, when in reality, like, you're not supposed to know it's missing in the first place. But the summons in this game, going to find them, and then I made sure that I used them like after I got a summoner, I used them in almost every battle. And then that's when I discovered that summons are actually black and white magic at the same time. If you cast the summon randomly, it'll either do its black magic version or it'll do its white magic version. And I didn't know that. So when Ifrit did something different, and healed my entire team. I was just like, wait, what the fuck was that?
Hold on, I
Yeah.
didn't know that until just now, bro. Like
Yup.
this is I'm just learning this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then
That's what happens when you play 4 times.
yeah,
All right, let's go.
yeah. So
Okay.
the summons, their visuals just really, I mean, you know, I'm a battle guy, I'm a games mechanic guy. And when I try and spend the most of my time playing Final Fantasy in the battle system. So just see, like when, like you said, like when Odin splits the screen, like that's just like so cool. That just like makes me feel like I am the harnesser of something powerful.
Yeah.
So like with visuals, I put that Final Fantasy 3, 2, and then 1. 3 also gets an honorable mention for Eureka and Crystal Tower. Also leading into audio, I put Final Fantasy 3 number 1 because strictly for in this order, overworld theme,
Let's go.
then Forbidden Lands, and then Eureka. I mean, no, Eureka and then Crystal Tower.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think this overworld theme is probably one of the best that the series has. I don't know why. It just I mean, music is different for everybody. It's just something about the overworld theme that evoked something like, you know, fantastical and mystical inside of like me playing the game. It felt like the song in the overworld was actually telling me a story. I know that's probably sounds odd, but there's high notes, there's fun notes, and then it kind of has this one transition where it's like a high note and it's like and like it just kind of like goes down and then goes into these like deep notes. And I feel like the song is just telling a story in the overworld. And then also the menu doesn't change the
Yeah, you really like that.
yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of that. It doesn't
Getting so many points for that one, man.
it gets so many points for that one. But yeah, no, I just think like Final Fantasy 3 did so much that I feel like 3 is what 1 and 2 wanted to be, and it paved the way for a lot of games that came later. And that's why for my legacy I put the series ranking Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 1, and then Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 3 is at the top spot. What?
I said my beloved.
My
I
beloved.
know, I'm sorry.
No, you know what's funny?
Personally-
I feel like you are in the majority here. Like me, Wiley, and Lee might be actually in the minority with the with
No,
our.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
2 is almost like universally criticized.
Yeah, that's,
you're
that's
sitting with,
okay.
like, 3 of 2's biggest glazers.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue, Vinny.
No, you're good. You're good. There are very few flaws. I don't want to just sit here and make it seem like Final Fantasy 3 was perfect. I think it was perfect for what it was trying to be, but I think it had a lot of remnants of the problems that it had, and which is why I think a FF7 remake, like style remake 4/3 would be so good, because I feel like a lot of the things that you guys have a problem with, the characters kind of being like in it for 5 minutes and then you're in love and then they die and you're supposed to be like really upset about it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Fat Chocobo being in the game for whatever reason, which it seems useless in the Pixel remaster, but he was a bank. He's a bank, basically. You put your items in there because the original Final Fantasy 3 didn't have enough inventory space for you to have like a lot of stuff like you can in the Pixel remaster. So he was actually a beneficial thing. He's useless.
He's useless.
Kind of. He's useless in the Pixel remaster.
I put in my notes. I was like, did I miss something? Like, what is the point of this Fat Chocobo right now in the Pixel remaster? I don't understand.
But like,
I guess if you want less cluttered
I guess.
inventory.
yeah, but I mean, I feel like my inventory you could hit sort and everything was just fine. You know, like I think the Fat Chocobo could have been taken out, but they kind of just left it in as a remnant to like not change anything from the original, which I can appreciate. But there are just so many parts of Final Fantasy 3, which I think lends itself to being one of the greatest from this era, is that I would love to see so many people and places fleshed out more. Like I can't remember the name of the city that's at war with itself.
Oh yeah,
but
that was cool.
if that could have a whole chapter
also
of the
highlight.
game itself, where like there's different parts of the city that you go to that have different things, and everybody's fighting each other, and everyone's like, I don't know why we're fighting each other, but they said they're not going to feed us unless we fight. So I mean, obviously we got to fight. But like, I feel like that could get fleshed out so much better. That had like an actual captivating story to it that just kind of deflated before it reached any kind of meaningful climax. Like you meet the prince and then become best friends, and then like you're laying down in bed, like literally next to each other, and then the prince is like, "Hey, you awake?" And you're like, "Yeah." "You awake?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sad about my dad." And like,
I'm
it's
sad
just
about my
like,
dad.
you just like meet the prince for the first time. You spend one night together, and then you help him kill his like dad's master or whatever. Like it's just
And
this.
his dad.
Well, I think his dad.
Well,
I think his dad gets stabbed by
Oh
the
yeah,
bad guy.
well, he stabs
Yeah.
himself. No,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, he stabs himself. But like,
technically, but you know, I mean, let's not get into
Like, I mean,
semantics
yeah,
here.
the semantics of mind control, I guess, you know. But I feel like this game, if it had a remake and had the time to flesh out all of these characters, I feel like it would fix a lot of the issues that you guys had with it in the first place. So that's why I think it has such great potential to be a great game, and I think it did pave the way for a lot of the later games. So I leave it at number 1 for Legacy because I
Nice.
think a lot of the stuff we have today that we really appreciate, we could not have without, Final Fantasy 3.
Dude, well said. And I would say, what if? Because I feel like the more likely scenario here. Instead, I don't think we'll ever get a remake on the scale of like Final Fantasy 7, but like, what if?
No, because it's not popular enough.
What about an HD 2D remake? I've been playing a lot of HD 2D games, right? With Dragon Quest, we reviewed that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 and stuff. I can see them taking and doing what they did with the Dragon Quest games and giving that retreatment in HD 2D. I know the Pixel remasters just came out, but man, it would be cool to get and they've been doing some really good stuff, adding voiceovers as well. Like, I think Final Fantasy could benefit from something like that. Now,
yeah, I'd love to see it on 2.
dude, bro, give me a Final Fantasy
don't get
7
him started.
style remake of Final Fantasy 2. Like, give me the Final Fantasy 7 treatment on that one. Nah, all right, so now it's time for the official series rank. And I don't have a cool screen set for this one, but I'll just go to me. There
You
it
can make
is.
us go mini again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait,
There's
wrong
always
one.
that.
Where's it at? So it's time for the it's time for the official mini. It's time for the official ranking. Combining the panelist scores. Hold on, we need to go full screen. Why am I sounding like Mickey Mouse all of a sudden? Here we go, guys. Let's get on.
Gosh, I didn't know we were getting a rank.
Oh,
Oh, I got the official rankings right here. Let's go. Let's go. All right, here we go. There's the official series rank. This is combining all of our rankings and putting them in order. Now, the point values, obviously, I got them all set up. Number 1 is worth, I think it was 16 points for number 1. Blah blah blah. It goes down from there. Now, it is tied for second place right now. So we have Final Fantasy 2 at number 1, and then tied for second, Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 3. I put Final Fantasy 3 for the time being below that because of just, I think we ranked it higher. I don't even know. I just got it there. It's a tie. It's a tie. I'll work it all out later. In the Rebirth
that.
chapter by chapter thing, we had it where the fans could vote, and the fans got the edge over if there was ever a tie. The fans' point values would apply, and that would bump it over. So I'll probably open up the fan voting for the milestone. So when we do the milestone podcast thing, we'll have an official ranking that can break that tie. But there it is, everybody. This has been Final Fantasy III reviewed and ranked. Now, before we go, are there any closing thoughts on Final Fantasy 3. Again, I do want to say that the Milestone podcast is a party members, like that's like Patreon, YouTube membership, coffee. That's an exclusive for you. When we record our Milestone, what I'm doing is I'm recording the full discussion, and we're going to break this thing down into best villains, best party ensemble, best ending. We're taking the pillars and we're just shattering them and just doing all of different little mini categories. Best best OST or best track, like song, best music from each game, or something like that, right? So we're gonna break it down, and we're gonna give our rankings on each one of these things, and it's gonna be a recorded, unedited session for those who support on Patreon and through their membership. You'll get that recording, that unedited recording, for a very long time before it hits public, because we're going to be doing that all the way throughout this series. So we got the Origins era 1 through 3, and then we have the SNES era 4, 5, and 6, and we're going to add those to the rankings, and then in that milestone after 6, and then after 9 we add another milestone. That's the PS1 era, or some would call it the golden era. You know what I mean? And then we go into we keep on going, and then finally after 16, or if 17's out by the time we're done. After 16, we will do the final milestone, and then I take all of our little mini conversations and I chop them up and put them into one video. So best villain will be one video as we go throughout every single milestone, and the rankings will aggregate. Is that the word I'm trying to? Culminate? Yeah, it'll build up until we get to
chill with each other.
Let's regress and go back to build up. It will build up until we have a solid 16. So like that video will get published and it'll say best villain, or every Final Fantasy villain ranked, and then we'll have like that whole video because it will build up from all the milestone. That's the idea I have in my mind. If it all gets scrapped, you still have that exclusive content if you're a Patreon. You know what I mean? Like, it's still there. If it never happens, there it is. So thank you so much for watching this. Closing thoughts, Excalibro.
This was fun. Like, it was a good time. It was a good time getting these different perspectives. We had highs and we had lows and we had everything in between. And it was just kind of cool to see everybody's, favorite bits and commiserate over a couple of gripes, but also, I mean, like Vinny's perspective really, it makes me want to play the game again, and that's a huge compliment, right? Like, I feel like I need to play it again, and I need to, like, I'm gonna be Vinny the next time I play. So I'm gonna name the main guy Vinny. I might name them all Vinny. And,
But Vinny gets the girl. If he's the main guy.
Hey. Vituni, Vithrini,
Beforny. But yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say. I loved it, man.
Me too. Dragoon King.
Oh, I have thoughts. Yes, no, the game exists. No, okay.
Semantically.
Semantically.
Said it.
Critically. I'm gonna just say that while this one wasn't my cup of tea, there was still a lot to appreciate, and both the real world things that influenced this game, like its development at the time, part of the inspirations for some of the story making decisions and whatnot, and the gameplay decisions, and understanding, while I haven't played all of the, we didn't do the bit at the start of this video, but usually you've asked like what our experiences with these games. And
well,
I always go, well, you did say two of us never played it, and I'm one of them. I never played this before.
What?
And I hardly have played too many other ones. So
have you played 4?
No.
Oh, buddy.
Dude, I haven't played. All right, dude. The first one, like numerically, I played was 7. Like besides the time I played one on the Panasonic, whatever the hell, cloud cell phone.
I know this is supposed to be
fun.
I know this is supposed to be an outro. We're supposed to wrap this up, but I'm just so excited for you to play 4. Dude, I'm so excited.
I'm
for
excited
you
to play
4.
all of
and,
these.
And
it's just
here's the problem. It's a problem that I've created for myself, for us. I created the problem. I have created this problem, right? So,
all right, you're the problem maker.
I'm the problem, and the the audience is the one that wants the remake chapter by chapter, right? And I want to give them the chapter by chapter analysis, right? I am excited for the remake, like my replay through of remake. This is gonna be like my 10th
Your
time.
replay through
My Final Fantasy 7 replay. I don't know, man, but like I'm excited for this because it's gonna be like my 10th time playing this game, and it's gonna be a fresh lens. I'm going in with like the part 3, like theory crafting and theory cast. It's basically gonna be a theory cast as we play through this chapter by chapter. I'm excited to pick that up to coincide with Switch 2 and Xbox re-release. I'm excited, but that means there might be an issue with the R&R, the reviewed and ranked series, and we're going to go into 4. Obviously, with Christmas coming up, and we'll probably take off December, and we're not going to do that. We've got a milestone that we'll do if we want to throw that in there in December. It might go into January. We'll see. Now, right after that, though, we pick up with the remake, chapter by chapter. Where does that leave R&R? And I'm kind of working that out, trying to figure that out. How do we go about doing this? And I'll let you guys know when I figure it out, but I hope that we don't have to like postpone this until after the remake chapter by chapter. I'm hoping that we can figure out a way to like, knock them out maybe every 2 months or whatever. So we're still knocking out a Final Fantasy everything. Because I'm excited for you to get into 4. I'm super excited for Vinny to play 5. Because I mean, I feel like you played a little bit of it, but you haven't really dove into 5 in a while, right? Right, Vinny?
5, I haven't played and beaten 5 since like high school.
Oh, so you have played and beaten it. You just haven't. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited for
I
you to
probably
get back
couldn't
to
tell
5.
you really.
Anything.
Yeah, that one part that you and I talked about already, like the person who gets something, and that one. That's like the only thing I really remember of the game.
So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you guys to play, like us all to play 6 again. Like I've been wanting to play 6 for.
Well,
goodness,
it's the
bro.
first time for me.
Yeah.
No, again.
Dude, okay. See, and like 6? Oh my god.
Yeah, all right. So like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's
really
yeah.
the first time we're gonna hit a point where I feel like I'll be knowledgeable and have experience is 7. So
Yeah.
pretty much all the Pixel remaster is just gonna be a first time experience for me. And to wrap up my closing thought real quick.
Yeah. You're the special
I just
sauce in
want-
this series is what Wired says. You're the special sauce.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
thank you. I'm sorry I kind of dumped on this one. I'm sorry the special sauce tasted sour today. But anyway,
Sauce is different every time.
this sauce's closing thoughts on this one is that I respect this game. I was touching on this before. I respect a lot of where the series will go from this game, the things I do know and the things I don't know, because it gets me excited if it goes up from here.
Oh, dude.
It's basically
Yeah.
like my sentiments. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm familiar with job systems.
Yeah.
So like that system was something I was like, oh wow, this is really exciting. I did not care at all for how it was implemented in this game, but I'm curious to see how they take something that is like a great foundation and where they're gonna grow with it. And
wait until because 4, a little spoiler for gameplay. ATB.
Oh, okay.
It's active time battle,
like,
not turn-based anymore.
I'm excited to see how the foundation of this game would set forth, because I do see the strong bones. It's just all the flesh rotted off for me. It's just bones. So I need to...
And now, to end it with the person who has the complete opposite thoughts. Fighter. Your closing thoughts, just like to close it out. Close out the show. Just,
I'm really happy that we decided to do this series, because I can't honestly say I would have played 3 on my own time with the bad taste that was in my mouth of it.
Yeah.
And
that bad sauce.
That bad sauce. Lee, I might have hated 3 more than you
bro.
then you decided. Like, I no, I'm serious. I did
3D.
not
You're
like.
talking
I'll
about
say
the
I
3D
hated it, but I
yeah.
didn't like it, so I don't know where like
The
I don't know where I
3DS,
stand
man.
on it.
It's unfortunate that it soured like my vision of 3, like my perspective of like what I thought of 3. I'm with you, dude. Bottom tier every time. Like every time I would ever, what's the worst Final Fantasy 3? I would always say that. It's
Yep,
changed.
me too.
It has definitely changed. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so happy I played this because this was refreshing. This is, I mean, not to put it on the same level as Claire Obscure, but I was having
Ooh.
similar feelings of cheering for the characters as I did at the end of Claire Obscure. I was just whenever when I play video games, I'm not usually a very vocal person. I'm not usually like yelling or like that, but when I was playing this, like I played it on stream and I was cheering on
Bro.
all the people coming back
Yeah.
and just like helping out our main character. I was actually cheering and I had a really good time. I had a great time playing this game. So I feel like 3 is an example of, and I know you guys don't agree with me, but I think 3 is an example of being able to go back to these older games after playing or starting with the newer ones and still having a good time.
Dude. Yeah, 100%.
No,
man.
I don't agree with you on
recommend-
3.
It's
but
funny
2
because
I would say is great.
It's
Like,
funny because
I
the
love 2 for that
recommendations,
reason.
like it's funny if we had to recommend, like maybe we'll do it during the modcast. Words are coming out at the same exact time.
Modcast?
The modcast,
Modfest.
the modfest,
Modcast.
the milestone podcast. If we did, what game would we recommend at the moment? I would say 3. Like out of all of these games, I would recommend 3. Like, so if anybody's going back to the Pixel remasters, like if you want the definitive NES Final Fantasy experience, it's 3. Like 3 is that's where you go. It's just 2, obviously, as we said 100,000 times. But there it is, Final Fantasy 3 reviewed and ranked. I'm so happy that I get to share this journey with you guys as we play
Same,
through
dude. Thanks for
all of the
inviting us.
Final Fantasy games. We'll see you next time for Final Fantasy 4. I hope it's soon. But until then, stay tuned to Final Fan TV. Equip that subscription. Freaking like attack command the like button. You know? Like freaking I don't know what I'm saying now, but just
Summon your friends.
Summon your friends. Good.
I was gonna say
stuff.
cast mini on us and keep us in your pocket all day. Hang out. With
Oh no! Oh no!
Hey guys, hey guys, it was great talking to you guys. No, that's a magnet. No. All right, everybody, take care now. Bye bye.